This narrative is based on my own memories, stories I heard from my brother, and information from friends, so it might not be entirely true. However, I found it quite terrifying, so I've decided to share it here. The story dates back to when I was in elementary school. At that time, my family lived in a government employees' apartment complex in Tarumi Ward, Kobe City. I'm not sure if it still exists. The complex looked like an old type of apartment buildings, with about 10 buildings in total. Each building had 3 staircases and was 5 stories high. We lived on the 5th floor of the 5th building, using the middle staircase. The family at the heart of this story lived on the 4th floor of the building to the right of ours, though I don't remember the apartment number. It was a family of 3, the parents and their only son, who was a Ronin, a student preparing for another attempt at university entrance exams. The relationship between the mother and the son led to the first tragedy. The mother was extremely pushy about education, wanting her son to get into the university she desired for him, and forced him to study excessively. After failing the entrance exams several times, distressed by his mother's pressure and his failures, the son jumped out of his 4th-floor study room window, ending his life. This incident apparently caused quite a stir, though I don't remember it well. The tragedy deeply shocked the mother, pushing her into a mental breakdown. She began taking sudden walks at night and would tell people she met outside that she could see a person with wings standing behind them, instilling fear among the apartment residents. Even my older brother was confronted by her, now referred to as the deranged lady, saying nonsensical things to him. According to other stories, she would always leave her deceased son's room window open, claiming that closing it would prevent her son from returning home. Gradually, her condition worsened. She started putting talismans all over her apartment, shouting in the middle of the night that they were stopping her son from coming back, wandering outside in her nightwear, and continuing to tell residents about the winged person behind them, reaching an extremely concerning state. I remember these incidents becoming a hot topic in the apartment complex. Desperate, her husband consulted various people, from counselors to religious figures and those involved in the supernatural, without any success. By coincidence, a family belonging to a certain religious group lived across from them. One day, the father from that family visited the deranged lady and prayed in front of her. Suddenly, she started shouting at him in a different voice and became uncontrollably violent, reminiscent of an exorcism, which became a widely known story throughout the complex. My family moved away due to circumstances, and I lost track of what happened next. After moving several times, we returned to Kobe 2 years later, though not to the same government housing but to a different school district. By then, I had completely forgotten about that family. 4 or 5 years after our return to Kobe, around when I was about to enter high school, a friend of my mother's from the time we lived in the government apartments visited us. She occasionally visited my mother since our return to Kobe. One day, as they were chatting about trivial things and I came out to greet them, she began reminiscing about that family. The deranged lady never improved, and eventually, her husband had to move with her to the countryside. I didn't ask where exactly. There, while taking care of his wife, he commuted to a far-off job. However, the husband, being quite old, couldn't cope with the caring duties and long commutes, deteriorated in health, retired early, and focused solely on looking after his wife. Some time after the husband retired, neighbors started noticing something odd. They hadn't seen the couple recently. They knew the wife was unwell and the husband had retired, but they hadn't seen him lately, especially since he used to go out for groceries. Despite wondering about their well-being, given the family's circumstances, no one dared check on them directly. Weeks passed with no sight of the couple. Eventually, the neighbors grew seriously concerned and, despite the distance between houses in the countryside, they couldn't ascertain their situation, and decided to contact the police to investigate together. The door was unlocked, and upon opening it, a strong stench of decay wafted out. Inside what appeared to be the bedroom, they saw a figure sitting. The deranged wife was there, sitting properly in seiza in front of a futon. The source of the smell was clearly from that room. Upon entering, they found the husband's remains on the futon, significantly decomposed. The wife simply sat there, still. Later, it was revealed that the husband hadn't been killed but had died of an illness. One disturbing detail was the complete absence of food in the house, and nobody had seen the wife out shopping. It left everyone wondering, what had the deranged wife been consuming all this time, sitting in front of her husband's remains?
How did you find this story? Did it give you chills, even a little? But you know, the most important lesson this story teaches us is that the human mind can be complex, and in its depths, there can be unimaginable things. Sometimes, please kindly shine a light on your own heart and that of your loved ones. Well, look forward to the next story. Until then, goodbye.